Hello everyone. I was going to start with a video on carrying on the resist series that I was doing using this time using hot glue gun or melted glue. What am I talking about? These things, right? What you produce with these things, hot melt and cool melt glue guns. Right, so but what happens, I got my stuff out and I realized, I got these lovely, I've got heaps of these things, I've collected these over years, heaps of the glue sticks, but I also had a pile like this. And I thought, I couldn't remember. I mean, those ones, ignore those, they're thick ones. They don't fit in my glue gun. But if you've got glue guns like this, you might have a hot melt, you might have a cool melt. Cool melt sort of generally tended to be used for things like polystyrene, things where a hot glue would actually just soak right through. So I didn't tend to use this very much, or I haven't used this very much. I think I might even got it from my mum when she was alive. So I had this lying around. But anyway, I had some glue sticks, which I actually got a heap more somewhere. I just haven't come across them yet. And I thought what might be useful to just do a quick intro video, which is the purpose of this one, just to talk a little bit about the glue sticks themselves, because you do not want to get the wrong glue stick in the wrong into the wrong glue gun. Okay, so there are a few ways I think that you can sort of try and work out what's what. You can just visually look at it, and I'd actually forgotten this, so I had to sort of really think about it and research because I couldn't remember. But you can just look at the sticks, and if they're sort of translucent and clear, then they tend to be the hot melt. And then you've got this one here, which is a cool melt, which is quite cloudy in comparison. Some of these have gone yellow. That happens over time, or if you maybe if they've been left in the light, or just over time, the glue will turn this yellowy colour, which is not terribly attractive, to be honest. Fine if you're using it to just adhere things, but if you're going to be using it for the resist technique, you're going to have to find ways to cover this up, or basically just buy yourself a brand new set of glue sticks like I did. Okay, so you can also have a look at the bending. This was another sort of suggested way to tell that the hot ones should be firmer or harder, and the cool ones being softer because they're sort of made of a material which is supposed to melt at low temperatures. But that actually isn't correct with these. I'd say that one was actually bendier, so I wouldn't rely on that technique. What I actually did do was go and fill an old container with boiling hot water, and I put a little snippet, you can see I snipped a bit off this one, and put it into the water. And if it's a cool melt, it will melt very, very quickly and disappear actually in around about 30 seconds. So whereas your hot melt will stay, it might eventually start to melt, but it's designed to melt at sort of like 190 degrees C or 380 F, so it should sort of retain its shape. Okay, that's another way to do it. What else? Going back to the visual, actually, the colour, the hot melts will go yellow. So I think these are all hot melts. And actually, if I put them together, now that I thought about it, it's actually quite clear to see which are which. Okay, so another way that we can test what type of stick that we've got is to actually use the glue gun itself. If you've got a hot melt gun, then if you choose your stick and it goes through okay, then you've got the right glue stick for the gun. But if you use a cool melt in there, it's going to melt very, very quickly. It's going to become very runny and just be a basic mess. Actually quite dangerous. You could burn yourself. So if you've got a low melt or low temperature heat gun, use that one first. Obviously, if it goes through easily, then you've got the right one. If it's very stubborn to go through, then the gun is not getting to the right temperature for the hot glue stick, and it will be very stodgy in the gun and it won't come out properly. So always best to use the cool melt gun if you've got one of those to test, if you're going to test it that way. Okay, so we've summed up 5 different ways that we can test if we've mixed up our sticks like I have. You can do the visual test. You can look at the colour, translucent, clear, colour, has it gone yellow? Then thirdly, we can do the bending of the stick, but as I've shown, that can be a bit unreliable. You can put it into water and to look how it behaves in boiling water, and then you can test it through the gun. So 5 different ways that we can determine what we're working with, and it's quite important. As you can see, I've probably got mostly hot melt glue gun sticks because these are the ones I use, and they're generally the ones that you find when you go into the shops. It will be written on there they're hot melt, and this one you can see these, I don't know if they've gone yellow, whether they were yellow anyway. I think they've gone yellow, but you can see it says hot melt. If it's cool melt, it should say that on there as well, because people do use the cool melt quite a lot in crafts, perhaps flower arranging, different things like that. So it's quite important to get it right. Okay, so that's the first video I wanted to do. There will be several of these as we work through using the hot glue gun and the cool glue gun actually to create some resist techniques, and we'll also look at how we can deal with this yellowing of the sticks. We'll look at things that we can add to the glue as we're putting it down and a few other techniques. So If this interests you, please do come join me. Okay, bye for now.